Hey BCAM, just want to show you some of my favorite drills that maybe you can use when working with your players. Some of them will be form shooting, some of those will be mid-range, and some will be from three. Likely some you've seen before, maybe some that are new to you, and maybe some with a little bit of a twist. All right, I want to take you through some of the form shooting drills that we use here with Make Shots. We're going to start with indexes. So if we take a look at his hand, about 80% of the players that I work with, the center of their hand is truly their index finger. And so we shoot indexes early for one of the things I'm really trying to focus on with players, and I ask them is which finger is last on the ball. So when they shoot the ball, which finger is last? And we know that if our index finger is the center of our hand, if I measured from his index finger to his pinky and his index finger to his thumb, when his thumb is truly an L and not a J, that the index finger is likely to be the center of his hand. So we want the center of the hand to shoot the center of the ball at the center of the rim. So he's gonna go ahead and shoot a couple indexes. We ask him to put the valve hand, we ask him to put his index finger on the valve, which is roughly the center of the ball, and then shoot a few indexes, and I'm gonna ask him to try to feel the index finger last on the ball. Oftentimes in training, we'll take a slow-mo video of the player. We'll try for them to be able to feel which of those fingers is last on the ball. It's one of our very basic form shooting drills we do, especially for players that miss left to right. Those are indexes. Okay, next let's move to isolations. One of the biggest myths in shooting is the power in our shot comes from our legs, when really the science and the studies on shooting show that a majority of the power from our shot comes from our elbow lift and our wrist snap. So we shoot these that are called isolations. So you can see here Miles is gonna start with the ball, hit his forehead or above, and we want this to be the big power move in the top third of his shot. So his knees are gonna be slightly bent, and what I want him to feel is that his elbow can still lift here, when a lot of times players wanna go to a wrist snap right away. We need to retrain our body that even when our elbow's in a high position, it can go higher before our wrist snap. So he's gonna hold it here till I count to 3. 1, 2, 3, and then he's gonna lift it. It's gonna feel like a hard move for the player. 1, 2, 3, lift. And we even think about our word choice here. I don't want him to shoot the ball, I want him to drive the ball or lift the ball towards the rim. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3, lift. Good. His knees are slightly bent, but only to get the connection between his upper and his lower half. Hold it a little higher and see if you can still drive it. 1, 2, 3, lift. Good, now let's have him take about one step back. So eventually we want our players to be able to shoot these from 3. If you want to talk about extending range, isolations are one of the best way to do that because it's truly the power source of our shot. 1, 2, 3, lift. Good, those are called isolations. Next we're gonna do a drill called 1, 2, shoot. What we're trying to do is break down the shot from the player's one spot, which is where they like to start. We call it the shooting pocket, where their shot starts when they receive the ball off a pass or the dribble. The 2 spot, which is where your elbow is most directly under the ball and your wrist is flat, and then to shoot it. So right here, we're just gonna count those off for Miles. So we can see his 1 spot is a little bit left of center at about his waist area. 1, 2. So his 2 spot is the spot where we feel like his elbow is underneath the ball and he's under the ball, not behind the ball. We know that this position right here causes an arc angle that's lower than 45 degrees, and if he can get flat here under the ball, he's gonna have enough arc and power. So we'll start again. Ready? 1, 2, shoot. What we really want the player to feel is originating the ball in the same spot every time for 1, 2, shoot. One more. 1, 2, shoot. Really want the player to feel this action in the 2 spot instead of this move. So those are 1, 2 shoots. Here's 3 form shooting drills we're gonna wrap all together in what we call our guide hand series. So trying to minimize the guide hand's impact on the shot. So the first one is called mirrors. As you can see, Miles is gonna go up to his shooting position with his guide hand off the ball, but as close as he can to touching it. Go ahead and shoot a couple mirrors. So obviously we're trying to teach the shooting hand to drive and the guide hand to truly be on the side. But what we're looking for is, go ahead. What we're looking for is to see if he misses any of these to the left. So if he misses any of these this way, it would likely be because his shooting hand is coming across his body and his guide hand is meeting in the middle. So something that would look a little bit like this, And then when they meet in the middle, he can still make it. So when we're shooting these mirrors, we're trying to see if he misses any this way, or if his shooting hand is truly in really good really good alignment. So his guide hand is really close. Go ahead, shoot one more. His guide hand is really close, but not touching the ball. So we call those mirrors. The next drill for guide hand impact is called 1-2 shoot, which we just showed you, except with a guide hand off and on. So Miles is gonna go 1, 2, he's gonna leave the ball, he's gonna take his guide hand off, put his guide hand back on, and then he's gonna shoot it. So, go ahead, shoot a couple more. What we're trying to do here is 1, 2, off, on, shoot. What we're trying to do is kind of check guide hand position. So 1, 2, off. Now, if the ball falls off, that means he's too far on the outside. He's not truly centered. Also, when his guide hand comes back on, we're trying to see, does it come on here? Does it come on here? Or is he really pressing hard? The elbow angle here would show you he's really pressing hard, which means he has some resistance or force pushing that way. So we kind of tell our players, when you get off to on, you want to set it on softly, so when you shoot it, you can have 5 fingers pointed at the ceiling. So let's go back to the beginning. 1, 2, off, on, and then shoot. Good. One more. 1, 2, off, on, shoot. Good. All right. Last one is called finish to start. So learned this one from shooting coach Dave Love. And so what I like about it is it's one of the only form shooting drills that actually starts at the end. Almost our other drills start at the beginning. This drill focuses on what the shooter wants at the end of the shot. So if we go to the very top, these are called finish to start. So Miles is simulating he's just about to release the ball. So we want our guide hand to come off the ball at the end. So his guide hand's gonna be off the ball. So we want just that last spot where he's gonna shoot it. Then he's gonna go back to the start. So back to his 1 position, go ahead. And then he's gonna go ahead and shoot it. And as he shoots it, we want his guide hand, shooting coach Mike Dunn is great with this terminology, we want his guide hand to slide and not stick. So I even want him to be able to hear that guide hand slide off the ball and not that guide hand stick to hold on at the end. So he's gonna go to the finishing position, back to the start position, and then shoot it and let that guide hand slide off the ball. So finishing position, back to starting position, finishing position, right there. Good. So 3 drills that we use for guide hand work are mirrors, 1-2 shoot with guide hand on and off, and then finish to starts. All right, one of the next parts of our form shooting drills are called our Ark Creation series. So it's a series of drills where we try to get the player to truly get under the ball, make sure they're generating enough arc, make sure their elbow's finishing above eye line after release. So the first one of those is called roll-ups, also comes from Mike Dunn. So Miles is gonna start with the ball here. He's gonna roll the ball up into this loaded wrist position where we can see some wrist wrinkles. That truly shows that his hand is behind and not on top of the ball. Then he's gonna move the ball first in tight to his body, and then he's gonna shoot it. Like that. All right, so here's an example of roll-ups. So he's gonna start right there. He's gonna roll the ball into that loaded wrist position, keep it tight to his body, and then shoot it. What we want him to feel is that this is not good hand position. A lot of players, especially young players, catch the ball here off the dribble or the pass, and then they never truly can get under throughout the shooting process. So we want them to feel this loaded wrist position when we do roll-ups. Rolls to that position, keeps the ball in tight to his body. You know, part of Ark Creation is being connected between your upper and lower half, and then shoots it. All right, so let's do some slow to quicks. You're moving closer. So move up a little bit. So on slow to quicks, we want to move the ball straight through the shooting tunnel, and we want to feel our wrist getting into that loaded position where we're underneath the ball. So he's going to start here, and we'll just go. We're using the ball, move the ball very slowly to a 4 count until he feels under. And so when we go 1, 2, 3, 4, as soon as he feels under, that's when he should start to lift his elbow. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot. He moved a little bit quick there. Here we go. So move it very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot. Good. You can even see on that one, he didn't truly get under. He was still behind the ball. So we want to see this at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot. That's better. One more. I want the player to feel what this spot is as the ball travels slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot. Good. So then we try to speed that up in what's called a quick to quick. So now he's just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then shoot, maintaining that the ball is going to move first while his body stays still. One of the bigger mistakes we make is we lift to here, our body and ball lift together, and then by the time we get to the last third of our shot, we have nothing left here. So he's going to move the ball first. 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot. Now we just want to take those quick to quicks and speed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot. And we have about 3 or 4 different layers we add on to that. So we know that Ark Creation is primarily comes from elbow movement and elbow lifting. So Miles is going to shoot a couple what's called 6 shooting here. This is one of the only drills that I tell players I usually don't like to film them on because they do look a little bit weird and a little bizarre. So you're going to see what he's going to try to do is he's going to try to trace the number 6 in front of his body. What we want to see and know and what you want the player to feel here is the amount of lifting that their elbow does. So just watch his elbow movement and how far this elbow moves. Ready? Go ahead and go. Top, all the way down, and then into his shot. We want him to feel that his elbow is going to go above, it's going to come up to here, down to here, and then all the way back up to here again. Go ahead. Players that have a hard time creating enough arc is primarily because they don't have enough room for the elbow to lift in their shot. So we want the player to feel that wide-ranging elbow movement, which is truly something that creates arc. So that drill is called 6 shooting. Let's finish up with isolations over the backboard. So this is a really good one just for the player to feel how much elbow has to lift to create arc. So have the player stand just on the other side of the backboard. Remember we did isolations a little bit earlier? They have to try to hold it at their forehead or higher, which makes this really hard. We have to try to get them to not do this, which they're inclined to do. So he's going to hold it there. He's going to get a little knee bend because he's going to move up together. We'll say 1, 2, 3, lift. And you'll see how hard it is to drive that ball above the backboard. Ready? 1, 2, 3, lift. Close. So that's our Ark Creation series for form shooting. Okay, after we get done with form shooting, we have about 10 different layered fundamentals that we use and make shots. So think about it this way. Form shooting is 0 miles an hour. A live competitive drill is 100 miles an hour. You don't want to go from 0 to 100. You want to be able to see if the player can take the mechanics from 0 miles an hour, go to 50 miles an hour before you trust them to speed up their shot per se. So one of those drills is one of my favorites, is called basket weave. Super simple drill. The player has to make 9 shots in a row from both of the blocks and all of the hash marks going back and forth, including a free throw. Really simple drill, yet it's one of the first drills I make players that come into the gym with for the first time that I know they're a really good shooter, because I want to see how many times in a row can the foundation of their shot and the mechanics truly line up without a mistake or without an error. As soon as the player misses, they have to go back to the first spot. The other thing I tell them is, how can I trust you to make a 3-pointer in front of 1,500 people on a Friday night if you can't make 9 shots in a row from inside 15 feet with nobody guarding you? It's also good to see how a player mentally deals with makes and misses, because it seems like a really easy drill, and if they can't make it, they get really frustrated. We often tell players they have to make this before we graduate to the next part of our workout. So Miles is going to go ahead and start. He passes to himself, shoots the first shot. If he makes it, he gets to go to the other side. Next spot. We'll often have players just focus on one mechanical part of their shooting. So Miles is trying to work on getting his hand under, so I'd likely be telling him a little bit about that as he goes. He's made it through the first 4. Again, he's trying to make 9 in a row without a miss. As soon as he misses, he's right back here to the first spot. So go ahead and start again, Miles. So again, he's trying to make 8 in a row, and then he's trying to make the 9th with a gamed free throw. And he has to be able to do that before we're going to move out of layered fundamentals and into whatever our focus of our day might be. So if you have players that finish up form shooting and they're working on something else, basket weave is a good drill to do. All right, another one of our layered fundamental drills we like to do is just called perfect swishes, and we do them stationary and off the move. So the stationary ones, this is really for players that are working on Ark Creation. And so we do it for 2 reasons. One, we know that 45-degree angle and gives us the best chance for a perfect swish. So we're trying to get the player to think and see that way and go by feel. We often pick the spot on the backboard that they're trying to create arc towards, so they have an aiming point. And then the second thing is just focus. Like players that are in your program and players that work with me have made thousands, hundreds of thousands of shots. And as soon as I say, hey, you have to have a perfect swish, the layer of focus increases. So we do these two ways. So the first way Miles is gonna do is just stationary. So we'll just go for a minute and we'll see how many perfect swishes the player can get into. So makes don't count because we're trying to see how many of those perfect shots he can truly get. So sometimes we do these where the player is just shooting from one spot. So, and our goal is 10 in 1 minute for the player to get at least 10. Right. And then we do it a different way, which is the player has to go elbow to elbow, elbow to wing, wing to corner, back to elbow, elbow to wing, and wing to corner. So this is for maybe you're a little bit higher level shooters and they have to get 2 at each sequence before they can move. So he's gonna go elbow to elbow, there's 1. As soon as he gets 1 more, he would go to the next spot, good. So now he's elbow to wing. And these are timed, so all of these would be timed. We keep track, there's 1. So again, we're trying to work on arc creation, trying to find that spot where he's trying to hit it in terms of his arc every time. There's 2. Now he'd be wing to corner. Good. So that's just our perfect swish series that we do as another version of layered fundamentals. You can do those stationary or off the move, keeping score and time for both. Our layered fundamentals, before we go into our focus for the day, our emphasis is just the Hansen series. Shane Hennen's a great trainer, gives me a lot of good ideas for going off the dribble and off the move. So this is just a series of 3 moves that the player has to make. We make 10 on one side and 10 on the other side, and we time these. It's gonna be a 2 dribble pull up from the corner, where the player has to bank the shot, a 1 dribble walk in, and then a catch and shoot 3. So here's Miles is gonna go. 2 dribbles into a bank. You want him to have to bank it and use that eye level. Then it's a catch and explode. Right into a 1 dribble pull up. And then it's a catch and shoot 3. Right there. And then he's right back to the corner. It's right back to the corner for the same thing. So it's A, B, C over and over again. Go. 1 dribble pull up. And then a catch and shoot 3. Good. So like how that Hansen series changes the eye level of the player, they have to make it from different angles. They have to make 10 on one side, 10 on the other side, and then we time those. Let's jump into some of my favorite 3-point shooting drills. So this we just call Oregon threes, comes from University of Oregon's women's basketball. 2 things I like about this drill. First, it's 5 minutes, so there's no in or out of it. You gotta shoot for the entire time. The second part I like about it, it's not based on how many makes you have, it's how many spots you move. So it's 7-spot drill. Corner, wing, slot, top, slot, wing, corner. Player has to shoot until they make 2 in a row. They start to see how hard it is to be that consistent within the span of 5 minutes. So they have to go make 2 in a row. As soon as he makes 2 in a row, he moves the next spot, but he doesn't get any points or any score until he moves a spot. So we could go make, miss, miss 2 in a row, make 1, and he still has 0. So it's not total number of shots made, it's total number of spots that he gets to move. If you have 3 players, you can have a passer, a rebounder, and a shooter, which is what Oregon has. Their training record is 42. So far, our training record, Avery Zeenstra has, is 28. We usually have 1 passer because it's just normally me and a shooter. So the player is going to start in the corner and has to keep shooting until they make 2 in a row. So if they can't make 2 in a row, they're going to get a lot of corner shots. They just shoot over and over again until they get 2 makes in a row. As soon as they get 2 makes in a row, they get to move. When I have players do this drill, I don't coach any fundamentals or mechanics. All I do is try to coach them mentally because it's going to be an up and down, really roller coaster of a drill as they go over and over again. The player has to shoot and might shoot and get stuck in 1 or 2 spots, and on the other hand, they might make 6 or 8 in a row where they get to move quite a bit. Good. So those are called Oregon threes. Next 3-point shooting drill is called Monmouth 100. Became famous a little while ago on one of the last Olympic teams because Steph and Clay and Durant love to do this drill back and forth at the end of practice in Olympic. I think Steph has a record at 92-100. Durant had 91, I think, and then maybe Clay 89. What I like about the drill is it's not timed, it's just based on efficiency. So think about the drill in 4 quarters. The first 25 are catch and shoot. The second 25 are off the move. The third 25 are off the dribble. And the last 25 are off the screen. So we're not gonna shoot them all, but I'll just kind of show you what it looks like. So the first 25 are 5 catch and shoots from corner, wing, top, wing, and corner. So Miles is just going to take 5 from the corner. So he's taking 5 from there. So he would be 0 for 2. Again, it's not about streaks. It's not about time. It's about total number of makes. So he would take 5 from that spot. There's 4. He's got 1 more. So then he's taking 5 from there. He's taking 5 from the wing, 5 from the top, 5 from the wing, and 5 from the corner. So then the first quarter is done. The second quarter is about off the move. So he's going to do some drifts. So what we're trying to simulate here is there's dribble penetration to here. His player comes off, and he's going to shuffle to the corner for a set of 5 there. Okay? So he's there. He's on the shuffle. Go ahead, go. Pass him there, trying to load forward. So again, trying to simulate some of those driving kicks. So he would shoot 5 of those drifts in both corners. So we're trying to get to the 25 in the second set. He's also going to shoot 5 lifts. So he started in the corner. He's going to tight curl, like he got a screen down. He's walking in, so he's going to shoot 5 of those. So he's going to shoot 5 drifts. He's going to shoot 5 lifts on both sides, so that's 20. And then from the top, he's going to shoot 5 walk-ins, where he's walking into the shot. And shoot 5 from there. So that would be the set of 25. So we got catch and shoot 25, off the move 25, and then off the dribble 25. We're just going to go 1 dribble pull-up, 5 of those from the wing, from the top, and from the wing. So 1 dribble pull-ups, just simple walk-ins, where he can shoot 5 of those. Again, we're just keeping track of total number makes. So he has 5 of those from there, 5 from the wing, and 5 from the top, all 3 of those spots. And he's also going to do 10 off the ball screen. We're catching really wide here on ball screen, turning the corner right into a 3. So he's going to shoot 5 of those on that side and 5 of those on that side. So that's the third set off the dribble of Monmouth. And then the last are 25 that are off the screen. So you're going to start here on the block, run America's play. He's going to screen across, and he's coming right up through an elevator screen on the top. So he's going to shoot 5 of those where he comes from both directions. So he'll shoot 5 coming this way, 5 coming this way. And then he's going to back screen here. So he's going to go back screen, and then open. So he would shoot 5 of those that way, 5 of those going that way, over there in the corner. And then the last 5 are going to be 5 jab 3s. So he's just going to jab and then walk right into that 3. So again for Monmouth, it's going to be 25 catch and shoot, 25 off the move, 25 off the dribble, and 25 off the screen. Okay, our next drill is called 45 deep, and it focuses on increasing range. We never want our players to have to guess where their range is. We want to be able to know based on data and makes and misses and workouts exactly where that range is. So this drill is called 45 deep. There's 9 spots on the court: corner, low wing, high wing, slot, top, slot, high wing, low wing, and corner. The player has to shoot and take a step back 5 different shots from the same spot. As soon as they make 3 out of 5, they can move to the next spot. As soon as he knows he can't make 3 out of 5, he starts again. It's a time drill, so we're trying to see how quickly that player can get from that side to the other side. So he's going to take the first 3 right from the line, 1 for 1. Take a small step back about to that college line. He's going to shoot his next one. So he's 2 for 2. Now he's just inside that NBA line. 2 for 3. So now he's got to move back. As soon as he makes his next one, he gets to move. 2 for 4. Now he's got to make this one. If he makes it, he gets to move. Okay, and he would come right back up and start again. So he's still on this same spot. So he's on this spot until he makes 3 out of 5. We're going to time how long it takes him to get all the way around the court. So great drill just to focus on extending the range, and player have really good understanding of truly what their range is. That drill is called 45 deep. All right, this is my favorite transition shooting drill. It comes from University of Arkansas women's program. We just call Arkansas transition 3s. So I want the player to work on shooting 3s off the fast break and in transition You might have heard the drill called 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 2, everything is in multiples of 3. So the player's gonna sprint in, take 1 3, 2 3s, and 3 3s. You're gonna have 3 cones placed on the court. One at half court, one about 3/4 court, and one at the other end. So you see the cones down there. The player's gonna have to run around the cone that corresponds to the number of shots they miss. So if Miles goes 0 for 3, he's gotta run all the way down around that last cone. We're gonna shoot free throws in between. So if you think about it, it's a set of 3, and then he's gonna shoot a free throw, and then we'll stop. He's gonna go to half court, and then we're gonna do the set of 6, which is a 3, a 3, and a 3, where he runs into a transition 3, another 3, 3, a 3, and he runs into a free throw. 50 total makes. In Arkansas's program, you have to make 40 or more to be a green light shooter, 30 to 39 to be a yellow light shooter, 29 or less to be a red light shooter. Our training record is 41. Tommy Gregoire and Jillian Brown are tied. So Miles is gonna come in transition, walk right into his first 3. Good, he springs to that side, 3 number 2. Good, and he's all the way over here. Go, for his third one. Good, so he goes right to the free throw line because he made all 3. He's gonna shoot a free throw, and then his set of 3 is done. All right, so he goes to half court. Now we're gonna do a set of 6. We won't go all the way through 9, 12, and 15. I'll just show you the second set. So now he's coming in transition. Here's his first one. Second one. And his third one. He misses this one. He's got the long run. Good. Second cone. Now he's running around the second cone, and he's coming back in like it's a 3 in transition. So here he comes, right to the top of the key. Transition 3. Transition 3. 1 over here. Set 2. Good. Set 3. Now I'll have to run. Second cone, second cone. Now since it's his last set, now he's running into a free throw. So he's coming all the way down, right into a free throw. As he finishes his second set, game free throw, then he would be done. Then he would have his sets 9, 12, and 15 left. My absolute favorite shooting drill is called the 18-minute challenge. It comes from Phil Beckner and his training with Damian Lillard. What I love about it is there's no way out of the drill. It's 18 minutes of 3s that you're taking consecutively. So I love the length of the drill. Players are dripping in sweat, and it tests them physically and mentally. They're gonna go through really great streaks and really tough streaks, but there's no way out of the drill. You have to stay in it for the duration. I also love that it makes you take every type of 3 that you would get in a game. It's 3s off the catch, 3s off the move, 3s off the dribble, all of those pieces. So there's 9, picture it this way, there's 9 spots, and at each spot, you're gonna start with a catch and shoot in 1 minute and 5 seconds. So you're gonna start with a catch and shoot 105, and then you're gonna do 105 of some kind of movement, and then you'll go to the next spot. So 9 spots, 2 sets at each spot, one of which is catch and shoot. So 9 catch and shoots, and then the other 9 are off some kind of move. So we're just gonna do like 15 seconds of each one. We call it the Super Bowl of drills. Try to build it up, only let players do it about once a month, and only let my best shooters do it because it can really beat you up mentally. NBA guys score in the upper 280s, 290s. I even heard of 300. Jillian Brown holds our training record with 232. We make a big deal if you get into the 200-point club if you've made 200 or more. So the first, again, we'll just do about 15 seconds of each. So the first one is just catch and shoot from the corner. So everyone counts for 1. So you're just gonna shoot for 105. I'm just gonna have him do for about 10 seconds here. Okay, all right, so the player shoots for 105 there, we stop, we count up how many they make, and then he's gonna do drifts for the second 105. So shuffle, 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 just like it's a drive and kick. Point guard to the corner, shuffle, 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 and he's gonna shoot. So we do that for 105. Then he would move to the next spot. So now he's on the low wing. So first 2 minutes are done. Catch and shoot in the corner, drifts to the corner, a little bit lower. Okay, now he's got 1 minute and 5 seconds of catch and shoot from the low wing. He's making those, again, with a slight break in between just to describe to the player the next one. So he shoots those for 105. Now we can go to the corner. Now we have lifts, which are those tight curls you saw in Monmouth. So now he's got this for 105, where we're really working on footwork, balance, and we call it closing the gate, making sure his hips and shoulders are square. So he shoots those for 1 minute, and then we're done with the fourth one. So now he's got 4 minutes in. He's finished with 2 spots. Now he's going to the wing. Again, first 105 is catch and shoot. So now he's got catch and shoot on the wing. For 1 minute and 5 seconds, he shoots catch and shoot from the wing. Good. Now step back. That segment is done. Now we're 5 minutes in. Now he has 1 dribble walk-ins. Player can use either hand and either dribble. We try to simulate, these are the times in the game where you get to pick. So pick your footwork and pick the hand you want to dribble with. So it's just a simple 1 dribble walk-in. It's not a move, it's just a simple 1 dribble walk-in. So they're taking those for 1 minute and 5 seconds. Good. So now we're done with 3 spots. Corner is done, low wing is done, wing is done. Now we have slot. So now he's catch and shoot from the slot. Again, for 1 minute and 5 seconds. Players probably going through a fair amount of ups and downs, but they're having to stay in it for the entire drill and shoot for that whole time. Okay. So catch and shoot is done at the slot. Now we have transition run behind. So he's starting over here on the tan. Higher. We're trying to simulate dribble penetration happening here on a fast straight, and I'm just going to bounce it right to here. He's going to run all the way in behind, catch and shoot, and then he's right back to the tan line. This is where we really start to even work on a little bit of cardio, and not only duration and endurance physically within the shot, but then also mentally. All right, so transition run behind. I'm throwing him to there. He's walking in. Good. So right back to the spot, and I'm just bouncing it to there. He's having to get his body square and good lift. Good. So he does those for 105 at the slot. Now we're 8 minutes in. Now we're back to the top of the key, or at the top of the key. So he's got 1 minute, 5 seconds catch and shoot from here. Shooting from that spot. Good. So at that point, we would be at halftime, 9 minutes in. Tell the player that they could take a break or not. Maybe mentally they need it. Maybe they need a drink. Or maybe they just like to grind through. And then the last one, and then we won't show you the second half because it's the same as the first half. He has to go 1 dribble right, pull up 3, 1 dribble left, pull up 3. So he has to alternate between which hand he uses. So he's going 1 dribble right into a lift, and then he's going to go 1 dribble left on this side, right into a lift. He's going to alternate back and forth. So again, 18-minute challenge. I know that's a little bit complex to try to break down and summarize without seeing the whole thing. But then basically we would do the same thing on the slot, high wing, low wing, and corner on the other side. 18-minute challenge. Hey, thanks BCAM. It was great to be able to show you some of my favorite drills, from form shooting to layered fundamentals to some of our mid-range pieces to all kinds of three-pointers, which are a big part of what we do on Make Shots. Feel free to contact me after you watch these videos or see these things if you'd like any additional information or I could explain these any better. Thank you.